Hi guys, bloody thing. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm in the woods. If you got down in the woods today, you're sure a big surprise. If you got down in the woods, I brought out with me the Mamiya 6 folding camera from the 1950s, and if you're wondering why I haven't opened it up yet to show you guys, it's because there's a bleeding light leak, little tiny pinhole on the bellows. That's why I've got this tape underneath the camera, so when I open the camera up and start shooting I can just put that tape over the bellows. I found that because I did some shoots on this yesterday just to give it a little quick test with some 100 TMAX film, and developed in 510 Pyro, and I noticed there was some slight leakage coming from the left side of the negatives. So I opened up the bellows and shone a torch through the usual stuff in the dark, and there it was, little tiny pinhole light. So I've just bought a little tiny bit of gaffer tape. I've got no black electrical tape, but I'll probably get it sealed with some sort of liquid rubber or something like that, because I think these bellows are quite expensive to replace. Anyway, however, I'm out in the woods and I'm going to be shooting this beautiful camera from the 1950s, the Mamiya 6 Automat. And if you haven't seen this on my channel before, I do have a video on it, so I'll put a link in the description if you want to know all about this camera. I'm not going to go through it in this video, but I will put a link to the description to the other video if you want to know all about this Mamiya 6 Automat 1950s folding medium format 6x6 camera. And I know there's a lot of videos online about digital versus film. I'm not really into all that stuff, to be honest with you, but today I thought it'd also be fun to bring out a monochrome digital camera, which I've got in my hands here, and just have a little comparison at the end of the video. Just a bit of fun to see if you guys can see the difference between the two. This is a fantastic camera, this is also a fantastic camera. So what I'm going to do is mill around these bloody thing. So what I'm going to do is mill around the woods, get some nice photographs. The light is quite nice. I've got some beautiful sun coming through this side, so I've got to make sure that I'm on the side of the light. If I go the other side, it's all going to be a bit dark and flat. But the lighting is absolutely beautiful. So I'm going to mill around, get some photographs on the Mamiya 6. I've only got 12 shots on this, and I'm going to replicate it as well with the monochrome digital camera too. So let's crack on. I'll show you some of the compositions, some of my setup, and later on I'll show you some of the developing that I'm going to do in 510 Pyro with this 100 TMAX, hopefully to pull out some beautiful negatives that'd be great for printing. Ah, this looks nice over here. Look at these logs. This is always good for a composition, some broken logs. Now look at these. It's always pretty cool when the forestry works go on in the woods, because you can often find stuff like this. Look at that pine cone. Oh. So I'm already loaded onto frame one. I shouldn't have done that really. I should have waited till I come out in the woods, but I did. I've got to put this little tiny bit of tape on the bellows. So whether frame one will have that leak, I don't know. I think I got it yesterday from walking around for quite a while with the bellows stuck out. So just learn my lesson, close the bellows after each shot, but I'll put this tape on and it goes right there, like so, and that will just stop that little leak coming through. Right, meter up, get a shot on the film and get a shot exactly the same metering on the monochrome camera. So just simple metering, incident reading, 100 ISO set into my meter. Just point it back towards here where I'm going to be shooting. So I'm going to go at 1/25th of a second, f5.6. The meter actually tells me 1/25th of a second, 4.0.6, which is pretty much 5.6, near enough, give or take a smidge. And the lens on this camera is absolutely beautiful. Olympus, I can never pronounce these names, you guys know me. Olympus D Zuko, Danny Zuko from Greece. Olympus D Zuko lens. Anyway, it's a 75mm lens, and the apertures range from f3.5 on the side there, all the way to f22, and my shutter speed's bulb mode 1 second all the way to 1/500th of a second, and the bulb mode and the 1 second, sorry, and the 2 seconds, they all work really well. Quite lucky. And this is a rangefinder camera as well, so all I've got to do is look through there, make sure the parallels are coming together, and I can use the focusing using the wheel at the back, and what that does, it pushes the film plane at the back of the camera back and forward. It's not focusing on the lens, it pushes it back and forward. Quite genius. That's it, shot done. So this digital camera is black and white, it's monochrome, there's no colour at all, purely black and white. So it's a 28mm lens. Now obviously it's completely different to the lens that I've got on there, but what I'm going to do is crop these images in Photoshop at the end so you guys can have a look and see if you can see the difference, and I'll show you the differences afterwards. It's not a massive wood where I am, but these trees look quite nice here. So I'm going to take this shot here, again same thing, meter up, take a shot on this, take a shot on the digital as well. And like I said guys, this is not digital versus film, I'm just doing it for my own benefit and also a bit of fun for you guys to see if you can see the differences at the end. It's more about taking pictures on this old 1950s camera, TMAX 100 and Pyro, and the results that I get from shooting film. And when I wind this camera on, there it goes, and it locks at frame number 2 for me, so I don't make any mistakes with double exposures. Out it comes, gaffer tape still on, lovely jubbly. And off we go again, a little bit of focusing through the rangefinder. I took a picture of a dog yesterday, it kept fidgeting around like I was trying to get a picture of it. It was a beautiful Dalmatian, and the picture wasn't as sharp as I'd loved it to be because of the focusing, but done. We'll take exactly the same shot on the digital. It's a little bit darker on through this viewfinder than the meter says, but we'll take the shot nice and wide this. But I'm going to be cropping in to square format and try and match the other camera's lens. So there's some more of those logs there, and you can see I'm out of the woods now. I've got this beautiful landscape behind me, which is, the sun's over there, you can see it, and it's throwing light all over here. So I can use a smaller aperture and get more in focus. Let's try this one. Them logs again. That one's done. So that shot's done. Advance to the next frame. Oh, and I must admit, to me, film photography is much more fun. Using all these old cameras, trying films, trying develop, as I said in my last video about film being expensive and stuff, it's much more fun. The digital is a beast and I use that for work, but for my hobby and for fun, for you guys and my YouTube channel, I like shooting film. If I was to come out here with this monochrome digital camera and take a few black and white shots around the woodland area, I more than likely wouldn't sort of, you know, machine gun everything, because I want to try and keep, I wouldn't want to sit there on Photoshop and trawling through 200, 300 images of these woods. So just taking my time, I don't know, 50, if that, photographs, get back, get on Photoshop, dial them all in. But with the film I have much more fun with all the developing and then possibly going in the darkroom. I don't have an inkjet printer, so I'd be sending anything off to a mate of mine that's got a really good inkjet printer. But then saying that, I would not be able to use this camera on the stuff that I do with this camera away from the YouTube channel and away from my private life, you know. And talking of prints, I've just put many of the prints that I've made over the years on the channel on my Etsy page for sale. So if you want to support the channel, please consider jumping onto my Etsy page and have a butcher's. Link is in the description. Cheers. A nice little shot here. Someone's put a little bench in between these trees. I've got all these chippings here. I wonder if I can get the chippings in the shot as well as the bench and the trees. I always find these make nice shots. Barbed wire fences to stop cattle getting out or whatever, stop people getting in your farm. These always make nice shots. Not much scenery going on in the background, a little bit of trees and stuff, but I shot one of these yesterday and I was quite happy with it. I posted it on Instagram. So let's do the same thing again today with this one. And all these little reeds in the way as well. But I need to get this one in the foreground. The light's coming down this way. I'd like to get the other side of it, but yeah, the light's hitting the other side nice. Oh, the sun's just come out, okay. Done. Oh, this looks quite nice. So we've got some more logs that have been cut down. All this bush stuff behind it. Nice little background there. Let's try that. The sun's come out, look at that, wow. Oh. Changed my settings, that's come out a bit too bright. See that, look at that, that's too bright. Just going back a little bit, wait for it to go in. There it goes. There, got it. Oh look, I found another row of fence and barbed wire. That one looks much better. See it going down the hill there? Little trees in the background. But the bonus is the sun is lighting this side. Oh, fab. That looks nice actually, this position. The composition I should say. Just focusing on the second post, not this one, the one after. It's quite a nice shot. Let's take it. Done. Going deep into the undergrowth now. God blimey. Trying to take a shortcut. I'm trying to take a shortcut through, see what I can find. It's a bit dense and prickly. Oh God. That's quite cute, that tree there, look at that. The ivy on it, just sitting there. The light's perfect on it, can you see the light on it? It's just a rough piece of woodland with some ivy on a tree that's nicely lit. There you go, job done. Same again on the digital. I do like a 28mm lens. When I went to Bahrain a couple of months ago, I had a 28mm lens shooting a lot of the time. It was beautiful. So we do the same again, 2/50th of a second, f8. Oh, look how wide this one is. I'm going to try and keep the same composition and cropping later on for you guys to see. This is interesting, look at this tree here. And for those of you that don't know, this is called a hanging thingamabob tree. And all these little thingamabobs hang down. But I reckon it'll look quite nice for a photograph. Interesting, isn't it? Also got these prickly thistles, I think they're called thistles, on the end of these things here. Do I want them in this shot? No, not really. I'm just going to go for the thingamabobs. I like these. This might make for an interesting photograph. These little tiny thingamabobs all hanging down. I'll be interested to see how that comes out. I took another shot looking up at the things. We've got some nice clouds going on up there, a little bit of blue sky. So the thingamabob's dangling down. I took a photograph. Whee, nearly fell over. Up there. That might look interesting. Check out, look, I stumbled across a beehive. Yeah, they're flying around. Look, this is, well, we're in January. I didn't realise bees were doing all this. I thought they was all sleeping in January. Look, see them? Honeybees. Yeah, I like these things in photographs, these spiky things. I think they're thistles. I'm not really a naturist. That don't sound right, does it? Not really a naturist. I'm not opposed to taking my clothes off on the beach. Anyway, not a great sight. But caution, working beehive, please do not approach. Why didn't they put it on the other side? Oh, bugger, I was just about to take a picture of that little shed there. I realised I was on my last frame a minute ago. So I've just rewound the film back. I want to shoot this one, take this one on digital anyway, get back and let's get this film, this TMAX 100 film in Zone Imaging's 510 Pyro. See what we got. So the first thing I did when I got back was take the SD card out of the Monochrome camera, stick it in the computer, downloaded them and just had a quick look, and as I suspected, they were looked slightly more underexposed than I was metering for, but hey ho, Photoshop will soon sort that one out. Hopefully these aren't underexposed. I don't think they will be. So I'm going to be developing the film now. This is KODAK TMAX 100 and it's inside the dark tank at the moment, developing tank, and I'll be using Zone Imaging's 510 Pyro. I've got 600 millilitres of water at 20 degrees, and I'll be doing this as a semi-stand development, so 1 part to 100. So all I need is 6 millilitres of Pyro in there. I could get away with 500, but I like to overfill my medium format just so I know that the whole film is getting its good old fair share of developer. So, and if you want to see a video all on this 510 Pyro, I've made a video on this some time ago. I'll put the link in the description. This time I'm not wearing gloves, guys. I haven't got any gloves, so my bad. I would recommend using gloves with this stuff, but I ain't got none. So we're just gonna have to be very careful because this stuff does stain. That's only 4 there. Need 2 more millilitres, and that's 6 millilitres. Done. This stuff's going to be quite gloopy, so you want to make sure it's all mixed up well inside the water whenever you use this. But like I said, do wear gloves because but I can't find mine, so I'm just being extra careful not to get it on my fingers. So far, so good. So I'm just using water at the moment, giving the film a little pre-wash. For about a minute just to get a lot of that anti-elation dye off. So the pre-wash has been done. I like a darky blue colour. So I'm going to do a semi-stand for 20 minutes and I'm going to invert for the first minute and then one inversion at 10 minutes and then we'll be done developing. So in goes the developer. On goes the top. Start the timer, so I'll just do some slow inversions for a minute and then after 10 minutes, or on the 10-minute mark, I'll do 1 more inversion and then when the timer gets to 0 I'll empty out the developer and then just stop with water and then fix with odorless or an alkaline fixer. The reason I'm not going to use stop bath is because it's got acid in it, or based on acid, and that will strip away the 510 Pyro stain. It's got staining properties on there, and I don't want that to get stripped away, and that's also the reason that I'll use an alkaline or odorless fixer as well, such as FX30. In fact, I'm using a new formula by Zone Imaging, which they're hoping to release at some time in the future. I'm just testing it out for James Lane. So far so good. So we're just coming up to the first minute. Okay, so I'm going to let that now sit for 10 minutes, 9 more minutes, and then just 1 inversion, get it stopped, fixed, hang out to dry. There we go, here's the negatives. They come out really nice. This one's a little bit overexposed. Obviously we've got the sky there, but there's the beehive. They look really sharp as well. There's the thistly looking things. There's the thingamajigs. A little bit dark in the shadow areas here, but I was using incident metering. In a normal world I would have spot metered those shadows on a camera that's more, I would say, accurate than the Mamiya 6, but they've all come out really nice. KODAK TMAX 100 510 Pyro. So the photographs on the left were the TMAX 100 film developed in the 510 Pyro, and in case you wondered, the very first 6 photographs that I showed on this video was from the digital camera. I tricked you. The biggest telltale sign would have been the depth of field, with the Mamiya 6 having a 75mm lens and the digital camera having a 28mm lens. And like I said, this isn't a film versus digital vlog, but I just thought it would be interesting if I took the photos side by side. And just look at the Mamiya 6 camera from the 1950s, delivered great images, complemented with a good film and developer. Anyway guys, I hope you liked the video, and hurrah to those that have got it right. Thanks as always for watching my vlogs and adventures, and a massive thanks to those that support the channel through Patreon and also the YouTube members area. I really do appreciate your support. Cheers guys, and I'll catch you next time. You'll just never be able to get them back. And that tree, I noticed, oh bloody hell, that tree, what am I here on? The tree, Jesus. The tree had highlight on it. Let's see what happens.